Okay, today we're going to finally remove the water filter, and Forest River puts these in, and this is the GeoPro. They put them in several different other models. On the GeoPro FD, they're actually in this little compartment on the back, but it can be actually up under the bed and some of the other models. So basically going to go over the reason why. A lot of people say, why would you remove this if you're going to use it? Well, that's just the question there, is I don't ever use it. And I'll tell you why I don't use it. The main reason I don't use it is this thing, if you take it off repeatedly, it will start leaking up at the top. A lot of people have had issues with that. Matter of fact, mine is actually leaking a little bit now with the antifreeze that's in it. So basically, I'm just going to bypass this. And the question is, why do you really need a filter? Your house doesn't even have a filter on it, really. And when you're using garden hoses and other things, you may want to have a way to keep your debris out. Well, like I say, I have this one in the back where it comes in. It has a actual little bit of a filter there. It'll keep most of your large debris from getting in there. So that issue's been resolved. But if you must, I don't use this for drinking water, but if you do and you want to have another filter for that, and you can use an inline filter, and I'll show you one here, and those simply go on to your hose right before it goes in. You can take it out and remove it each and every time, and you can replace that every couple of years, and it's not an issue. The water, if it leaks or something, it's going to be down here and it's going to leak out here. So that's the main reason we'll remove this, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this now. So now we're going to look in here and we're going to show you what we're going to do. Pretty simple, actually. Biggest problem is I still have mine winterized, and so I might get a little bit of fluid out. So if you look in here, I'm basically going to take this line loose from this side, and I'm going to attach it right here at this T, and then this piece of plastic will stay with this unit here. So just going to bypass this. And what that is one of these lines over here is one that comes from the back for your city water. The other one comes from your water pump. And then this one provides all the water to your inside of your camper. So that's just going to tie in there. And once we tie that all together, I'm going to take the screws out of this and just remove it all the way out of here, because it just takes up room and no sense in hauling around. So we'll get started and we'll see how it works out. What we'll have to do first is we're going to break the connection on this clamp right here. I'm going to use the screwdriver to wedge it up in there and break that loose, and then try to do the same thing over here on this side. So one of the hardest things is going to be to do is get this clamp loose, and the one back there. I'm going to actually go ahead and cut this one because I'm just fed up with it. It's hard to get loose. That way I can cut this, go ahead and take that loose, and then cut that one back there. Then eventually I've got to get one of those clamps off of there. So I'll have to work on that one to get that one off. But for now, I'm going to cut this and get this thing out of here. So I was able to use the utility knife to cut this pipe here, and it looks like I'm going to have to use this tool here to cut the PEX back there on that blue piece, because it's a little tougher. I tried cutting it. It could be done, but you just got to work harder. I'm going to try using this instead. All right. Oh, that pretty much done it. So what you see there is, go ahead and got it out of there, and They actually put this in, I think initially you were supposed to put it in through the holes. You can loosen those up and push up and bring it out. But I think they've had trouble with these breaking loose, so they've actually screwed it through the plastic there to install that. So I don't know how yours is set up, but that's the way mine was set up. It was a little tougher. And, so I wanted to show you what this looks like when you take it off. I just took the sleeve off just to see what I'm working with that other section. And I used a needle nose pair of pliers and get in here on this little sleeve here. And I had to work it and work it and work it and work it. And that's with me sitting here in my lap. I got to do this through a hole inside of there. So that's going to be a pain. So when you get that piece off, you're going to have a piece like that. It's going to have two little ripples in there. And you have to be able to crank down on that enough that it actually indents this tubing. So I would definitely recommend cutting that one section, because you don't want to use the old pieces here where it's already been crimped before. So cut it below on this side. But on this side, where I cut this stuff here, that's where we're going to have to do some difficulty to get that piece off. And then we're going to have to bring it back over and connect to this side. Well, I have to say that was one of the hardest things I've done in a while. Like I say, just getting that piece of plastic that was hooked on that other end on there, off there with that clamp, and trying to salvage that. I ended up having to take my knife here, and I had to cut it across the top. And what I'm worried about now is you see those little ridges in there. I had to cut across those ridges. Tried my best not to cut into those ridges, but that's what the sealing surface is. So I may have messed that up. Like I say, now I've got to take this piece here, put it on here, and hopefully get it tight enough that it doesn't leak, and hopefully I haven't damaged that area there where the sealing surface is. But we'll see if that's the case, and I've just got to find some other kind of T-fitting in there. But okay, I'm gonna let y'all learn from my mistakes, because I made a few of them on this job. Originally I thought I was going to use these clamps to attach my hose on here, and that leaked. So I went out and bought this kit from Amazon, which I'll link that on there, and thought that would work. And it came with this crimping tool here, which is something you will need. Okay, then using the fittings in here, here's the sizes I had. Okay, these are the two sizes, and if you look, this one is too big and this one's too small. And what I noticed is this piece I got from Amazon is in millimeters. I thought there would be one in between these two sizes, but I never could find it. So what I had to do is, finally I had to go back out to Lowe's, and I decided if I'm going to go ahead and fix this, I think my biggest problem is what I did is I tried to cut the pipe off of this. And when I did, I ran my blade over top of these ripples, and I believe that's why mine's leaking. So it may have been that those clamps would have worked originally, but it didn't for me. So I've had to go in and decide to go ahead and replace the T here. So I did go out and I found some T's, plastic ones, and after I had to go to Lowe's anyway, I went ahead and decided to buy a brass one. Just like the brass one better. So there's a brass one, and it's the half inch all the way around brass T. So I'd recommend, if you're going to do this job, make sure you get the brass T. That way your plastic, if it gets torn up while you're trying to take it out, then you're not worried about that. And then I also bought the half-inch PEX connector, which is the size in between these two that I was telling you about. So, all told, to do this job, we'll see how it works out in the end, but I think my suggestion is to go straight up and probably buy the half-inch PEX connector, probably go ahead and buy a brass T, and buy maybe this set here because it has the pinching tools. Now this is the cheap one. This, like I said, this whole set was about $28, and maybe I'll use it again, but it's nice to have these crimping tools, because what happens if you want to buy the crimping tools at Lowe's for this, it's $64. And I'm only going to do this now, and maybe, I don't know, hopefully I don't have any more leak problems, so I don't want to spend $64, so I'm going to use this cheaper one. The only trouble with this one here is it's really hard to get leverage on this, because the $64 one has a better setup for that. But just for this job, hopefully I can get enough oomph on this one here to get this one pinched off. And so what we're going to do is use these here. So what I did is I went in there, and it has this mess, okay? So what happened is the water comes in from the outside into here. Actually, it went into here. And then this one here was your line that came from your water tank. And then it went into the actual filter, which was right here. So it went in like this, and it came out on the other side. So what we're doing now is taking the pipe that was on this side, and we were going to attach it on this, but it didn't work because, again, I think I messed this one up. So what we're going to do, I cut out all this, so we're just going to have 3 lines. These 2 lines here are actually going to tie, this one's going to tie into the new T, which is going to be up here like this. I know this sounds complicated, but stay with me here. Anyway, we're going to do away with this garbage up in here. Just that way we'll only have 3 connectors that we have to worry about leaking, versus having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connectors. So this is what we're going to come up with, and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside when we get this together. Long story short, so after doing all the work with the brass fitting, you'll see what I've got here. I've got the 2 attached there, and 1 coming off the T. And it makes it easier if you disconnect it back there on the back, and you swedge that one and that one, the 2 top ones, kind of outside the door here, because you can really give that pinching tool hard, both hands on it, and you really give it hard. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to warn you that I would recommend paying $60, $70 for whatever that tool is that pinches these, because this last one at the bottom there, I had to pinch it 2 or 3 times and really get in here, and it's hard to get in with both hands into this area. Now, like I say, if you're doing this under your bed, you may not have as much problems with it, because you can actually get in there with both hands. But this cheap pinching tool here, like I say, you don't pay much for it because it comes with this kit. But if you had the regular pinching tool, it would have a special setup where you have more leverage, and it pinches that tighter. I had to really give it, I gave it everything I had to get it to finally stop leaking, because it was leaking at first. Now it's stopped leaking now, and looks like we're going to hold. I'll have to check this 2 or 3 more times before we go camping again, because we really don't want water in here. It's all wood paneling. So I would say this is an easy job, but it's really not, because you're working through this silly hole. So if you're willing to take it on, I hope it works out for you, because it's a tough one. I'm telling you, getting in this hole, I've worked airplanes before, and this is a tough little job to get in this little hole and try to get leverage to do what you got to do. Save some time. Go ahead and get you a, if you got one of these devices, one of these pinchers for the actual PEX system, then you've already got it made. But without that, you have to purchase one, and like I said, going this cheap route, it's really a pain to get those pinches just right. All I have in here now is that little T, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. But that's about all I have, and I hope this helps you out on doing this particular job, and hopefully you don't make all the mistakes I did. We'll catch you on another one.